Welcome back to another Lumberyard tutorial. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to create a survival HUD, or rather survival stats that are updated on your HUD. Real quick, if you have not watched the previous video talking about UI script communication, where I show you how to update your health via your UI so that they talk to each other, so when you're shot or you're attacked, you take damage from your health variable, but also the UI updates as your health drops, because I'm going to assume that you watched that video before watching this one. So again, if you have not seen it, check out the card above and then come back and complete this video. Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is create an entity that's going to house your UI and your script, your main global script. So I made my global manager, and on it you can see that I have a canvas asset ref and a Lua script. If I open up the canvas, you'll see here that from the previous video we created just the health bar. So all I did was actually copy and pasted the health bar twice. I renamed it to thirst bar, hunger bar, and then I changed the text to be whatever I needed it to be, and then the fill color to change the coloring so it can be differentiated between the health and the hunger and vice versa. So the same thing is done with the hunger bar. Alright, pause the video if you need to. Once that's done, you want to make sure that you save this. Exit out of that, hit save. Once that's done, we want to go ahead and create a new Lua script, and I called mine Game Master. Let's open that up. Alright, and here we have our basic setup. We have our table called Game Master. We have our properties area. We have our on activate, our on deactivate, and that completes our basic script. Inside of our on activate, you can see here we have a few things. We have a variable called health. We also have a variable called hunger and thirst. These are our timings, meaning that every 0.8 seconds we're going to deplete the hunger value. Every 1.3 seconds we're going to deplete the thirst. Now this is going to take practice and more importantly testing to see what fits right for your game. So definitely get other people involved, other gamers, to test this out properly and see how it fits into your game and how fast this should deplete. Alright, we're going to connect to the tick bus so that we can use the on tick function for counting every frame and doing our calculations with the countdowns and all that good stuff. Should be kind of very familiar to you guys by now. And then we have two events. Again, this is also something that we talked about in the UI script communication video. And if you don't know about the gameplay notification bus, go ahead and check that video out. So we have a gameplay notification ID, one for hunger state, thirst state, and they both are sending floats. Alright, make sure that you have that down. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. In our on tick, which is the meat of this script, we have self hunger deplete interval equals self hunger deplete interval minus delta time. Basically, this is how we're getting our timing. And then for the thirst, it's the 1.3 seconds. Alright, so that's counting down. So when the hunger deplete interval equals 0, we're going to minus the hunger by 2. And once it does that, we're going to set the interval back to 0.8 so we can start all over again. We're going to do the same thing for the thirst. Every 1.3 seconds, every time it hits 0, we're going to minus the thirst by 1. And then we're going to set that back to 1.3. Sorry, I'm not sure why this was moved out, but this this should be here. Alright, so when this is actually doing its math, we're actually sending a gameplay notification bus event on event begin, and then we're setting up the ID that we set here. Again, all something you guys should know about by now. Alright, and that is basically the full script right there. So take your time. If you need to copy it, pause the video and get it down. Alright, and once you have that, we want to make sure that we have our on deactivate and that we're disconnecting from whatever eBus that we're connected to. At this point, we're just connected to the tick bus, and whatever this entity is not being used or destroyed or whatever the case, we're disconnecting from the tick bus, so we're not running every frame for no reason. Alright, make sure you have that saved. Let's go ahead and close that. So the last thing we want to do is to make sure that our UI is receiving all the information that we just did inside of the game master. So let's go back into our HUD. So for our thirst and hunger bar, they are set up the same way. If you look here, we have our hunger bar and our thirst bar, and these are all Lua scripts that reside on the UI. Alright, so it's set up much like how we had the health bar set up in the UI script communication tutorial. So let's go ahead and open up the hunger bar, because once you see one, you would basically just copy and paste if you need to for the other. Alright, and a very simple script, as you can see. So let me close these up real quick, just so we won't have too much confusion. So in our properties bar, we have a entity ID, and we called it hunger slider, which is where we're going to place the slider object or entity from the UI. If we open our on activate, we have our gameplay notification bus ID set up, which as always should match the gameplay ID set up in the game master or wherever you have it placed at. And inside of our on event begin, which is what we called in the game master, we're basically just updating the UI slider. So we have the event set value, we have the entity ID that we are referring to, which is the hunger slider that we set up here, and we're passing in the data, which is the hunger value or thirst value. Alright, and then of course inside of deactivate, we're disconnecting from the handler whenever the UI is not in use or being used or destroyed or whatever the case. So a very simple script. Alright, and like I said, once you see the hunger, you're going to know how thirst is set up, but we're going to open it up just in case, just to give you guys an idea what I mean. As you can see here, it's set up the exact same way. Alright, so let's go ahead and close that. Make sure that you have it plugged in once you create those scripts. Make sure you have the proper one plugged in, rather, inside of your slider, or I call it mine slider, but you can call it whatever you want. And once you have those things set up, what we want to do is hit play. As you can see, my hunger is depleting. Alright, let's come out of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this breakdown tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed this style. I probably need to perfect it a little bit, but I definitely think this helps me get my videos out faster, especially if it's going to be a twist or a certain viewpoint from a tutorial I've already done. And the more advanced you guys become, the more you're gonna want to get information faster. So I hope this works out for you. Well, if you guys liked the video, don't forget to leave comments down below. If you really liked it and you're new here and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to the video. Also, everyone, do not forget to hit the bell icon for notifications. If you have yet to join our Discord, please do so. We are building a community over there. We talk about Lumberyard, we talk about Unreal, we talk about Unity. You guys can get answers from me a lot more quickly if need be. Meet other developers using the engine or just developers in general. other than that, I hope you guys are having a very dope day. Hope you guys are prospering in your projects. And until next time, keep developing.